Hello. All right, just to get us up to speed, in the last two lessons, we've learned about one, arrays, as you can see one here, and two, iteration, like how to loop through things. Now we're going to add these two concepts together, and this is where we learn how to iterate through an array. All right. Now, iterating through an array is a very important skill. Usually, you'll have large sets of data that you need to kind of go through. Sometimes you have to pick out a number, a name, some part of the data, and this is just a very important skill to have in computer science. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I'm just going to minimize this over here. And remember, everything we're going to be doing is going to be in the console. And don't forget, your life will be a lot easier if your auto refresh is turned off. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first task that we have here is we're going to log out all the names in this array. So if you look here, this is an array called names, and it has just a bunch of names in it. All right, so first and foremost, let's just log all the names out. Basic, straightforward. The way you would do that to iterate through this array, you could do for I equals 0, and we're starting at 0 because remember, 0 is the first index in an array. Then we'll say I is less than, and this is, we're going to say names.length. So what we're saying is basically we want to go through the entire length of this array. Remember, that's the stop point. And then we are going to go up by 1 because we want to go through every single item in this array. Now to console log everything in this array, it's pretty straightforward. All I would say is this, console.log, and then I'm saying names, brackets, and remember, if I put, let's say, 0 here, I want you to see what happens. If I press play, notice how it logs out Daniel. That's because it's going through this whole array, and it's each time it's printing out everything in index 0 in the names array. But let's say I wanted to go through each one. Remember, this is at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, what I have to do is just replace it with the I, right? Because I is going to start at 0. That's where it starts counting, and then it keeps going up by 1. So it goes 0, 1, 2, and watch what happens like magic. Notice here how it just logs out all the names, Daniel, Yaka, Luke, William, Catherine, so on and so forth. So that is a basic array iteration, right? We start at 0, we go the entire length of the array, right? And we go up by 1, and here we are iterating through each one, right? So we're accessing everything in this names array starting at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So that's a great way, so that's a great starting point. Now let's add a little complexity here. All right, I'm going to take this, I'm going to comment it out here. And this one says, log out, hi, my name is blank for every person who responded to the survey. So these are names from a survey. I should have started with that. So the way we could do this is, what I'm going to say is, once again, for, we're going to iterate through everything. So I equals 0, I is less than names dot length, I plus plus. Notice how that's staying constant. And now what I'm going to do is console log a whole thing here, a whole sentence. So console.log. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do interpolation, just to make it a little cleaner. I'm going to say hi, and remember, sorry, when you interpolate, use backticks. They're to the left of the 1 number, backticks. Hi, my name is, and then I'm going to do $, curly braces. That's how you interpolate. And here I'll say names, I. So what this is going to do is it can insert the name into the sentence. So let's try it out. Let's have this introduce everyone. And check it out. Hi, my name is Daniel, Yakia, Luke, William, so on and so forth, right? This is working perfectly. All right, let's move on to number 3. Log out the names of students whose first name starts with T. All right, this is where things get a little bit interesting. We're going to need conditionals, right? We only want to log people whose first letter of their name is T. All right, so this is a conditional. If their name starts with a T, then log it out. So once again, we're going to iterate through all of them. So we should get in the habit of this. For I equals 0, I is less than names.length, right? I plus plus. And what we want to do is check every name and see if it starts with the letter T. So we'll say this. We're going to say let's first letter, and there's a lot of ways to do this. I'm just showing one way. First, let's just get the first letter of the name. And what I'm going to say is this. This is going to get a little complicated here. Names, 0. So that means go to the, names, I. So that means, go through the names. And to check the first letter, all I have to do is another bracket, and I'm going to put 0. 0 is the first character in a string. So in Daniel, let's say, 0 is the first one. Now, just to tell you why this is so similar, just so you know, strings are actually saved as arrays on the back end. So Daniel, if you were to look at it, actually looks like this on the back end. D, A, right? N. And so if you, I, you get the point. So at position 0, it's D, right? That's what's going on here. So if you look here, the first letter is this, names I and 0. That is the first letter, okay, of that name. Now we'll check it. So if first letter is equal to T, and let me just make sure everything's capitalized here. Yeah, they're all capitalized, though we can take care of that if we want to. And we will console.log the name, names. Okay, let's see if this works. Hopefully we get this one. Let's actually get this out. We're going to comment that out. Let's see if this is working properly. Names is not defined right here. Boom. Oops. We all make mistakes. Taylor, Tim, and Terrence. That looks pretty good. Did it miss any T names? No, it did not. And we got all the T's. So remember, we got the first letter. We said if that first letter is equal to T, then we'll console out the name. All right, let's move on to working with numbers now. So we'll log out all the ages in the array. Once again, just because numbers doesn't change anything, so I'll say this for I equals 0. I is less than ages dot length. And I want to say this. You should pause the video and try to do this yourself. See if you can do it without me doing it. You can pause the video now and do it if you want to challenge yourself and see what that looked like. Now, the way we would do it is this console.log, and we'll say ages and I, and that should get us all the numbers. So let's give it a shot, press play, and sure enough, that gets us all the numbers in the array. Now let's say we want to log out only the ages greater than 30. Well, here we go. Let's comment this out. So for I is equal to 0. And this gets repetitive. I think you guys are getting the point by now, right? We always start at 0. Say I is less than ages dot length. We say I plus plus. And this is where we have to check it. So we'll say this. If ages I is greater than 30, then I will console.log, what's it called? Ages. Oh, sorry, ages I. Right, so this says if the age is greater than 30, console log it out. Let's try it out. Let's see what we get here. Oh, where did I get that one? Oh, I forgot to comment that out. Boop. We don't need that. Let's press play again. 31, 51, 100, 41, 31. Let's see if that's right. Yep. 51, 100. Yep. Let's see, 43. Yep. And 31. That's the only ones. Great job. Computing. See how easy that was? All right, let's comment that out. Add all the ages in the array together and log out the answer. I think you guys should be able to do this by now. If you want, pause the video. But if you want to see me do it, don't pause the video. I recommend pausing. But let's try it out. So let sum. Remember, I make a variable called sum, and I'll start at 0. I'll say if I equals 0, I is less than ages.length, I plus plus. And how we're going to add those in? Well, here we go. Add all the ages together, okay? What I'm going to just say is this, sum is equal to sum plus ages, I, right? And then after the array, I'll just say console.log sum. All right, so it's going to keep adding each one. Ooh, why is it mad at me here? It's not liking that. Did I not console log something out? Let's try it and see what happens. Maybe I break it. If there is something, I'm not seeing it. Oh, don't crash. Let's try it. Oh, if the 4. Come on, Siegel. Get with it. All right, let's try it. 665. Now, I don't want to spend my time putting this all together, but I'm just going to assume I got that right, and that's how you'd sum it all together. All right. Now, this is the basics on how to iterate through an array. It combines both those knowledge. You are now ready to do the lab 3.3 array iteration challenge. Remember, I've not spelled out everything for you here. You will have to do a little thinking to do it on your own, but I'm sure you guys can figure it out. All right, good luck, and that's it.